Welcome to the very first episode of our unique ranking series. In this awesome series, overflowing with fun and education, we get to see what really matters in life and love, and as well as why it matters. So, we do have fun. We're going to have some fun in this ranking series, but we're going to keep it related to couples, obviously in a lifelong relationship, and because it adds to the spice of life, the fun, and also it can be an educational experience as well, because I always provide reasons for why I create these streams. So the ranking series is no different. I'm going to be providing reasons why I am creating these special streams. You don't really find this out there on YouTube. You don't really find somebody who creates an entire series based off of ranking things. Typically, it's a fast food restaurants and games that people like. And so I guarantee you that I am perhaps, yes, I will take that title, the most creative when it comes to ranking series. They call it the tier list or tier ranking. But yeah, I'm going to claim that spot and tell you guys maybe you could present to me another channel that actually does something similar with so many different topics. Because we're going to have 10 total. And it's really tough to make because you have to be careful not to repeat things. And you have to be very creative because this is a very niche topic. It's not like just anything. It has to pertain to relationships. So it's a challenge. So all right, let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? Introducing Baby Chick right here. Who's Baby Chick? This guy. Hello, everybody. I'm Baby Chick. He's always jumping up and down, isn't he? All right, Baby Chick, you have to move out of the way because we're going to have to classify all these activities into either super at the very top and then from A to F. I'm sure everybody knows what F is if you've been to school. So, Baby Chick, you're going to have to step out of the way, please. Exit stage left. Okay, I'll be watching the show from behind the scenes. Behind the scenes he goes. Thank you so much, Baby Chick. He's going to be the mascot for this series. Obviously, he's a big mascot, even though I call him Baby Chick. So, let's go ahead and step into the first topic, shall we? Let's see. So, yeah, wait a second. Did I already tell you guys this? No, I have to tell you guys this. So our very first episode is all about having fun. That's the title. So let's dive into the possibilities for couples to enjoy themselves either at home or just going somewhere together, hopefully not too far away from home. Okay, so that's the topic for this series, okay? No, for this episode right here is having fun. All right, so number one on the chopping block here. Not really a chopping block because this is all fun activities anyways. So, having interesting conversations with your partner, whatever comes to mind, but seeking to really get to know each other no matter how long you've been together. Really searching for something profound and super thought-provoking. So not just simple conversations like, hey, honey, how's your day? I'm talking about like philosophical, intelligent, like thought-provoking. Maybe your opinions. Women love when men ask them for their opinion on this and that, but women also love it, asking for a man's opinion. So just be careful if your woman asks you, what do you think about this girl over here, or this woman over here? What would you rate her? That's a silly conversation. You know, that could be detrimental. That's an insecure question, no matter how friendly it's put. So be careful with silly conversations like that. Now we're talking about productive, thought-provoking conversations. You know, like, wow, because that's the way you really get to know each other. Guess what? This is actually number one ahead of any other activity in this whole list. Because we're talking about getting to know your partner inside and out, mentally and emotionally. And what better way to have thought-provoking conversations? I don't encourage them in the car, for example, because, you know, you should be focused on driving, and that can actually be dangerous. But if you're on a long trip, not too many curves, not going too fast, on those 80-mile-per-hour lengths, then yeah, you can have some thought-provoking conversation to keep your partner awake while driving and taking turns driving, perhaps. That's fine. But, we're talking about mainly at home here. So, thought-provoking conversation is numero uno, number one. Super, absolutely a must in any relationship. Otherwise, you'll be surprised. You don't even know who your partner is 20 years from now because you lacked these conversations. Don't let that happen, okay? Know thyself and know your partner. And they have to know themselves and know you. All right, that is number one. No joke. No joking around there. Okay, number two on the list is something a little lighter. Stargazing, either through a telescope, which is kind of fun these days, or by simply sitting outside, more classic, in your backyard or front yard together, just enjoying the nighttime hours, either having pleasant conversations, as I just said, or simply holding each other peacefully. Maybe you guys have a hammock. You guys can lay down together, or just a nice reclining chair back there, or it's just there's a lot of furniture you can go furniture shopping. And keep the mosquitoes and flies away with, little gadgets and such. You guys can find them these days. The ones that work, actually. And there's a lot of home recipes, too, for keeping the bugs away from you guys. So, yeah, stargazing. Now, maybe you don't have a lot of stars. Maybe it's just a moon. That's romantic, too. But what matters here is preparation. Like I said, keep the bugs away. All those little critters. And just enjoy the temperature outside. It's good to just step out of the house. You don't have to get far away from the house in a vacation, because that's what you're doing, vacating the home. Just take a step outside. You guys know what I mean. But you'd be surprised how few couples actually do this. So this can be very romantic. Now, is it a must compared to everything else on this list? Not really, but I like it because it's right there with conversation. So I'm going to put it in the A tier. Because it can be very romantic, and it's something anybody can do. You don't have to go anywhere or make huge preparations. Now, it's not an S tier because it's not like, oh my goodness, because simple conversations you can have inside. It doesn't involve the stars or a special scenario. So, okay. All right. So, let's move on to the third activity. Going hiking together. So it's kind of like walking, but hiking is more adventurous, okay? You guys got to bring some equipment with you. It's a little bit more daring, okay? Maybe through a safe open forest, if you have one nearby, or just exploring another off-road location. With all the essentials, like your phones, of course, battery chargers, that's a must because that's safety. Water, snacks, first aid kit, yes. Emergency cones for your car, a spare tire, that sort of thing. Just come prepared, people. Because the last thing you want to do is have to call somebody to tow your vehicle away or something, just contingency planning, right? Always have a well thought out plan and you guys should be good because the last thing you want to do is be worrying about this and that. And also safety. Like, for example, have like a pepper ball gun or something for maybe a dog or some other wildlife that wants to attack you. Hopefully that's not the case, but just everything you'll need just in case. I mean, that's the big caveat here. I have to give you that disclaimer because people just go out there unprepared and then now it's what was supposed to be an adventurous, happy time turns into some tragic accident or worst memory of their lifetime. So that's why I have to stress that. I mean, you guys might not take it seriously, but you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Like a GPS, if you don't have one built in your vehicle. I can go on with a whole list, but not to waste any more time. Let's go ahead and categorize this sucker. Hiking. I mean, walking would be up there, but hiking. This depends. This really depends. And no, it's easy to do. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Because it's very easy to do. Oh my goodness, these images are overlapped. Let me see if I can scrunch this one up a little bit. There we go. Gonna have to get used to this. Okay. All right. Yeah, B tier because, well, it does require preparation. Stargazing, you could just step out of the home. Conversations, you could just have anywhere. So, a little bit of preparation. You guys gotta have the plan. So it's a good activity, okay? I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's a good activity. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. Riding on a single bike. They have couples bikes where you can both pedal together. I never jumped on one, but it sounds exciting. Or separate bikes, which is more classic. Either around town or on a biking trail. It's similar to hiking because you have preparation, but I mean, as long as you're not biking in a dangerous territory, but hey, you can always bike away from danger, right? It's a lot faster than hiking on your 2 feet. But it is a perfect fit for those who want a faster experience on a bike when enjoying the good old outdoors. So, but it still requires preparation. Let's see. Either around town or on a biking trail. You could run into some nasty dogs out there. So again, maybe you want to bring some pepper bullet shooter, that's the thing nowadays. So you don't kill the dog and get sued over it. Excessive use of force with a real firearm, that type of thing. I do think about these things. Or some wild bear if you're in Canada, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Biking, I want to put it up with hiking because you actually need bikes. So it is equipment. You do have to plan and prepare. Make sure the tires are inflated and your bike is good to go. Nothing's going to break and yada yada. So yeah, I'm going to put it right there with hiking because of the preparation involved. I think that's the way I'm going to actually judge these things. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next category here. Singing. But no, we're not talking about show-off singing here. I mean, come on, man. We want to have fun. That's the title of this episode. So, sing some karaoke together or individually at a bar or at home. It doesn't have to be in a bar. I mean, you can do it at home. They got some cool technology nowadays like karaoke machines. Just watch the reviews. Make sure you pick a good one. Keeping in mind that it doesn't matter how well you sing. That's the most important part of this because I've seen like some people go to karaoke bars and they just want to show off and people actually applaud that, but some people, they actually boo them off the stage. Like, nobody wants to hear you show off your good singing. That's not a place for it. Karaoke, this is a time to just have fun and goof around. That's what makes karaoke. I mean, the Japanese developed it, for crying out loud, so they know what it's like to have fun. You ever hear the Japanese sing karaoke? That is a blast. You don't even have to know Japanese to actually enjoy it. I love all the fluctuating voices, and it's a blast. It really is. So, but what matters is that both of you have a great time, regardless of anything else. Having fun by goofing around with the lyrics or style of singing. Karaoke is a great time, but you do have to go somewhere. You could do it at home, but you do need equipment. So this is another equipment-based activity. And singing is not for everybody, but you don't have to know how to sing. So, but it is fun, but you always have the shy aspect. So I'm going to put it in the C tier. Because it's just goofing around. You're just goofing around. It's something fun to do. But compared to biking and hiking, which is a lot more intimate, singing is more just like playing a video game. Your attention is taken most of the part, for the most part. So unless you guys are having a conversation, but you're still distracted. So it's more of a distracting activity. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I would say, okay, so heading out to go window shopping. Maybe to buy something now or keep in mind for the future when you can afford to buy it. It's important to know each other's wish list when it comes to materials because it makes for a great future gift idea or two. Now you know what your partner likes and you can say, oh, I see how she reacted to that. Oh, I see how he reacted to that. Well, the birthday's coming up soon, or the anniversary is coming up soon, or Valentine's Day, or whatever holiday. You got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving. Any time's a good time for a gift, anyways. Maybe just to celebrate something, or just celebrating a good time. Spontaneity. I put that in my book. It's such a beautiful and must in a relationship. It's such a beautiful thing. If you're not spontaneous, surprising your partner with a gift, it doesn't have to be a material gift. I mean, you could just surprise him with it should be every day, a fantastic attitude and high spirits. That's an everyday thing. Like Valentine's Day, that should be every day. You don't have to go pay for a hotel or pay for the chocolates, but I'm just saying the right attitude. So, but window shopping, you guys are talking together. You're not distracted 100%, like singing. So this is actually a really good activity because you guys get to go out and it's healthy to walk around and to talk together and to see things. And so I'm gonna put that in the A tier. I think the A tier, because the S tier is gonna be like a must do. I'm not so sure. I think I don't know. I do want to slap it up in the S tier, but uh, I don't know. That's kind of unfair to everything else here. No, no. You know what? I'm gonna leave it there. I think I'm right. I think I'm correct. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, shall we? All right. Activity number 7, or idea number 7, if you will. Pay a printer business to enlarge special photos that you would love to put on the wall at home, either with a poster frame or a painting frame, depending on what material you choose to have your image printed on. That's right, people. You can have a very special photo, an image of maybe a pet that you guys had once upon a time that you guys adored, or more importantly, a picture of either you or your partner or both of you together. Somebody else took the photo for you, or you guys took it together with the timed photo, whatever it is. If you just try, it doesn't matter. Tripod or whatever. Whatever way you have guys acquired the image, it's important to remember that memory or accomplishment. Maybe you won a contest or some special moment to slap on the wall. Don't just buy paintings that, this is just a bunch of forest and lakes that some painter did. And look, I get it. It's okay. But the last thing you want is your home filled with just a bunch of random pleasant images. Like, no, you should have like the good old days. People put their portraits on the wall. It was very intimate. It was very special. It wasn't just another image on the wall, which a lot of people do nowadays, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because they miss out on what really matters. This is very special. I'm going to say this can even be very motivating, so I'm going to put it up there in S tier. You'd be surprised. Go check out your local printing stores. See what they offer, not just canvas or poster paper, but all different types of material that they can print your images on, maybe even for business as well. But the main thing is at home. We're talking about fun at home, and this really is fun and special. It makes a fantastic gift, either to friends or family, and of course your partner, to have their image. It's like you're glorifying them. And I put it in my book, you have to be obsessed with each other. Yes, you guys have to treat each other like a king and queen. So what better idea than to... I actually have that. That experience of having my image on the wall, having your image on the wall. So it's very special. You guys have to adore and treasure each other, and it's just it's a must. It's not. That's why I'm gonna slap it in S tier. It's something so special. So if you haven't had it yet, I highly recommend that you do it. Okay, what's next in line? Cooking something. This is classical. Cook something experimental or completely new in the kitchen. Maybe you both don't know how to cook, how to cook, or maybe one of you knows how to cook. You don't have to have like a culinary chef experience, is what I was about to say. Learning how to cook things these days is extremely easy and can save you both a fortune in the long run. I mean, cooking together takes the stress away from cooking alone. It's absolutely. I mean, the taste of life in another way. You guys should enjoy tasting each other intimately. But I'm talking about, as far as food is concerned, it's very romantic, very sexy, very hot, and also highly educational. And it can save your life, because if you know, I mean, it's just like wizardry, or the witches. They know how to brew. All these elements together to form something that's why I see it's such a beauty. The culinary arts, right? Creating something out of nothing. I mean, that's an artwork. That's art right there. It's beautiful. It's life saving. It's money saving, and you guys can take the stress. Like, for example, I can wash the dishes. She can cook. Or maybe if I'm the good cook, then I can cook and she washes the dishes, or we both do a little bit of each. The cleanup is easier. Two heads are better than one. It's maximum efficiency. One partner can go to the store and buy what's needed and come back, and you guys can take turns doing that. That way you don't depend on one, doesn't depend on the other. You guys are both knowledgeable. This is a must-have. Cooking, knowing how to cook. But cooking together, yes, I had to put it up there in S tier. Because cooking itself, whether you cook together or by yourself, this is a must. Now it's more than just having fun cooking together. It's an essential, just like having conversations. It's essential to life. If you don't know how to cook, then there goes your health. Because who knows what you're gonna go buy? I mean, unless you're rich. But I mean, still, you just have to know how to cook in this life, because your health's gonna go downhill one way or another. It's not sustainable. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Play a fun board game, or better yet, this is what I like to do because I'm an 80s kid. Play a game of charades, which is trying to guess what your partner is describing through body language. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that. Hopefully you have. Make sure the game stimulates your imagination and creativity in order to keep it interesting. But, regular board games are fine, like Scrabble or whatever. But, you see, this is a time to have conversations with each other, enjoy some music, listening in the background. Just turn off the news, turn off the television. Nobody needs that. Just have just like the good old days, I swear, because technology is a great thing, but it kind of took these experiences away from people. And now I find many people heading back in time and wanting this type of thing. And many couples, the new age couples, they haven't even experienced this. And they still sell board games. But I like charades because it's a lot more an intimate experience, and it's a lot more creative and imaginative. Stimulates the mind. But if that's too intense, then just play a regular board game. I used to always play Stratego and chess with my brother and brothers. So I'm going to have to put this. You do need the equipment. It's not that hard to get, though. But is it as important as the rest? No. I'm going to put this in C tier because in terms of importance, of value, of tons of fun, sure, you can have a lot of fun. But, what are you doing when you're playing the board game? You're having conversations. There's the S tier, right? So I got to be fair to everything here. Let's go ahead and move right along, shall we? Next in line, go to buy a few lottery tickets or scratch-off tickets to see if you win anything. Now, this is worldwide, okay? Everybody plays the lottery. But just be sure not to spend too much money, because this type of activity can actually become addicting for anyone if they're not careful. It's okay, but the majority of time, hate to say it, you're not going to really win. This is okay on the side. I'm going to put it below the other activities because, money shouldn't really be that much on your mind, like, hey honey, are we gonna win? And I mean, because I grew up with my parents who thought like that, and all I have to say about that activity is it's not physically harmful, but I mean, it could be. It's almost like a desperate activity, if you ask me. I mean, it's not, even if you just have the money to do so. What I'm trying to say is your money is better spent elsewhere, because The odds of you winning, it's like the whole Vegas thing. Maybe you might win one or twice, but it's the house. You know that they're all in control. So I mean, it's almost like gambling. It's a form of gambling. So that's why I'm gonna put it there in the D tier. It is a form of gambling. It shouldn't be glorified or promoted, but it's not the worst thing a couple can do. I mean, it's okay. The occasional ticket or two, maybe once a month. How about that? Maximum twice a month, but you shouldn't be centered because this can ruin a relationship. I've actually seen it. I've seen this. Like that they're just depressed all the time, always thinking about funds and money, and I'm like, well, here you are wasting money on a ticket that most likely you could have spent that on something else. You guys get it? So, oftentimes it can just do more harm than good. So, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, shall we? All right. Now, this is an interesting one. Draw or paint something either on the same large piece of paper or canvas, together on one. But be sure to buy some awesome coloring tools depending on what kind of artwork you both plan on creating. I mean, you can have separate canvas, separate pieces of paper, obviously. But here's a kicker. You could actually end up selling that artwork depending on learning new techniques. That's why I put this 3D image here. There's a lot of cool tricks that, people do this on the street. They use chalk and they do 3D images on the street. And they kind of gather money from that, but it's kind of a shame because you could actually sell online the image itself, upload it to be sold perpetually online, or people can order copies of to make their own posters out of it, and you get some percentage of the royalties. There's a lot of websites aggregators who will support this. You simply upload your image, even images of whatever you're taking pictures of. And you can actually sell images online. Go ahead and research that. It's extra money on the side, and yeah, people do buy it. Now, whether or not they do buy it is another question. But yeah, it's a lucrative activity, so it's better than just sitting down and doing something. But I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, because you gotta do a good job and everything, it does require materials. It is productive. It's something productive. But I want to put it in C tier, but that's a little harsh. I want to put it in B tier, but I'm keeping things natural from B and above. I'm going to leave it in C tier because I don't know. I mean, I'm really on the fence with this one because you can actually do something with that artwork. I guess I want to put it in C because it takes a lot of time. And, you guys are doing it together, but it just depends on the level of skill. So, look, I would put it higher if you guys are highly skilled in this and you guys make a business out of it on the side, a side hustle. I would put it in B tier. But, and especially if you guys are really successful at it, sure, maybe A tier. But typically, this is like a typical rated, like for just any Joe Schmo couple out there. I'm going to leave it in C as a possibility. So let me put it this way. This is the best in the C category. Borderline B. I'll just go ahead and leave it there. Okay. Just because of the talent and equipment involved. So let's go to the next category here. All right. So head on over to a lake, river, or the sea to go fishing for fish or crab fishing. I actually went crab fishing as a kid. I mean, it's quite a memory. It's so much fun because fishing for crabs involves using either a net or cage. We use the cage. If you want a different fishing experience instead of just cast your line, reel it in, with the lure and everything. I mean, crab fishing, I would recommend it. It's something, wow. And then you actually get to take them home and cook them on the stove, and crabs. Yeah, this is a fun experience, the crab one, but regular fishing, yeah, that's an experience too. Just be careful, no alligators or shark infested waters, please. No water moccasins, snakes, or eels, or my goodness, dangerous spiders and such. So this is another equipment based activity, so I'm gonna go ahead and slap it in B tier. because you're out and about with nature, similar to biking and hiking. You do need equipment similar to biking and hiking. So I'm gonna go ahead and slap it in B. So it's not a must, but it's definitely memorable. I will say that. So next one on the list is, okay, challenge yourselves by learning how to scuba dive. I haven't done this yet, but it looks super exciting. I've always loved the idea of scuba diving, the fins that you wear on your feet. I've always just wanted the fins as a kid to swim in pools. Never got them though. I mean, exploring exciting ocean life face to face, a little scary for most. Taking underwater pictures, that's exciting because the technology these days, like this image here, I mean, wow. And then guess what? S tier, you can enlarge that image and have it forever. That's when I went scuba diving in this so-and-so place. And then, like, have a huge image of it on the wall. Either on canvas or whatever material, even on metal or whatever. I mean, talk about a memory. Scuba diving. But you have to learn from, an expert, so taking underwater pictures to enlarge them and post them on the walls back home, creating unforgettable moments, that's pretty much why I really like the idea, so you can actually remember it. But of course it's going to stay in your mind anyways, regardless if you take photos or not. But I'm going to say this is pretty exciting. But, with the equipment involved and everything, not as easy as stargazing or going out shopping, so this is very niche as well. I'm going to put it right there with the crabs and the fish. Maybe as the most adventurous. Maybe even more adventurous than biking and hiking. If I could shove that all the way to the left, the scuba diving. But not everybody is... A lot of people are scared of the ocean or deep waters. It's not for everybody, people. Scuba diving. And then you have to know the technique of breathing in that thing in the tank. And, oh boy, air bubbles or whatever it is. Like, you got to be careful. You got to know what you're doing. But thankfully, these days, they have a lot more safe equipment out there, and even little small air-breathing canisters and snorkeling options for those who are scared of the full scuba diving experience. So it's something you have to... It's an acquired learning experience. So for all the technique involved, I had to put it in B tier. There's just too much else involved. It's not just go out there and just jump in the water with the tank. It could be dangerous, even life-threatening. That's the last thing we want. So next up on the list... Something everybody can do. That's what this whole rating is about. Have a home Nerf battle. You heard me correctly. A Nerf battle. Yeah, those toy shooting guns. Wear the safety goggles. That's a must. The last thing you want to do is shoot somebody's eye out. Okay, that is very dangerous. It's really sad to see kids firing these guns at each other, these toy guns, because they don't even have goggles on. Oh my goodness. It's just a matter of time. The last thing you want to do is rush to the ER with some lifelong injury to the eyes or eye. I mean, come on, people. Come on, be smart now. Don't be stupid. Anyways, I have to stress the importance of safety in all of these things. So these days I recommend the Nerf Rival series because it uses balls and not easy to damage darts. Yes, I've been there. I've done that. Because the darts, they can get jammed either in the gun itself. And also be sure not to run around and jump around because you can slip and fall. And then, of course, there's the emergency room, right? Look, people, I don't care how athletic you are, how fast you are. This is not a competition. This is just goofing around, right? Like karaoke. You're just trying to have fun. Now, shooting each other, it's not really romantic. I mean, because it doesn't feel romantic. Like, oh, there's my soulmate. Let me just shoot her with a bunch of like 200 rounds in this sucker. Like, it's not really. You guys have to have a different type of personality, I'd say. Like, because I mean, it's okay. Like, love is number one, obviously, but when it comes to fun activities like karaoke, that depends. A lot of couples just don't like singing. A lot of couples don't like board games. A lot of people don't even want to pick up a pen, pencil, or paintbrush. Look, I get it. So I had to put it in C tier. I mean, because it's not It's not for everybody. It's fun. There's definitely a lot of fun, but I mean, it keeps the kid in you. But it's a little on the violent side. I mean, you are shooting your partner, so that's a funny one. I think that's the funniest one on this list. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's move on. I gotta move on. Gotta move on. All right, so go indoor rock climbing. This is awesome. This indoor rock climbing thing has come so far. I mean, they got very creative with this stuff. Wow, and safety too. So, I mean, for some adventure and fun, testing your strength and coordination as a couple, you can get also to learn a potentially life-saving techniques, developing full body strength and mental focus. Also, I would say. I say life-saving because what if you have to hang over a ledge somewhere and you can't even pull yourself up to safety, that type of thing. Or somebody's trying to pull you up and you lack the strength, and yeah, you're pretty much dead meat. So you never know. Hanging off a ledge somewhere in your lifetime. So make sure you can do at least a couple of pull-ups. I'm putting that very lightly. You don't have to do 20 or 10. I'm just saying 1 or 2 perhaps. Be able to pull your body weight, people. Okay. Where do I put this thing? It's not a bad activity. It's not as violent as nerve. This is a unique activity. Sure, I'm going to put it in B tier because you don't really have to bring equipment with you, even though B tier requires some equipment. But yes, you kind of do. Just a setup process. You do have to plan ahead for it. Make sure there's availability and wherever the rock climbing area is, yada yada. So the last one on the list, I'm going to say, I just tossed this in this last one just for fun here, because we are talking about having some fun. So last but not least, go-kart racing. I remember when it was just bumper carts, but that was very violent in carnivals and festivals, like the bumper carts. So a lot of people got hurt. Luckily, I never did, but I could see why easily. But when it comes to go-karts, the only go-kart I was playing was Super Mario go-kart on my Super Nintendo. But I saw the real thing, and especially here in Europe, I mean, this stuff it's intense. It looks dangerous. But, this is a dangerous one, so only if you feel comfortable with some high-speed fun. Who knows? You both might actually like it or never do it again. It all depends. This is it's right up there with scuba diving. So yet another one that's adventurous on the danger side, but so is scuba diving. It could be dangerous too. So, this list is looking a little bit crooked with a nerf below. Well, no, because you're shooting each other. And then the drawing and painting. I mean, that's a peaceful activity. Oh, but really having fun. Yeah, that's the reason why I put these things here. I mean, because hiking and biking, that's a lot of fun. That never gets old. And fishing, that never gets old. Scuba diving is something super fun and memorable. Maybe you just do it once. And wall climbing. Yeah, I got this right. Yeah, the go-kart racing is maybe it's just a once-in-a-lifetime experience with some of these on the B tier. But the C tier is something, pretty much anybody can do. That's why I put it in C, but it's not bad. And then the D tier is, well, people can get addicted. It's like recommending alcohol or something else, Well, it depends on the responsibility of the drinker, but in the end, it's not really good for you anyways. So yeah, I really appreciate the S tier and the A tier because that's something everybody should be doing and considering. Even the blowing up your image, because why not, on the wall. You guys got to create memories and maybe you can reflect. It's way better than a yearbook because you actually pick one memory and slap on the wall or 2 or 3 or a handful, the best of the best. And you say, you know what, we don't need a yearbook full of mini pictures, which it's okay, it's fine. But what I find, unfortunately, people taking pictures, by the way, while we're still talking about that, is they have about tens of thousands of images on their devices and maybe external hard drives, and they don't even go back and look at them. You see what's happening here? So, but the old school yearbooks, you had volumes like an encyclopedia. You can pull out one bad boy at a time and be like, this whole yearbook, right? Not a yearbook, but well, it could be. But anyways, this book of memories here had all the pictures from this year, and or maybe this time that we went out doing this. Maybe a combination, but it was something that you could see and feel. You could take out of the sleeves and hold the picture if you wanted to. I mean, but when it comes to the digital age, I think a lot of people are actually taking images for granted. So that's why I like the whole blow up the picture and slap it on the wall, because it's like, okay, this beats both of the worlds. Because you don't have to open something up and look at it. It's right there. It's always right there. It's like a shrine. There you go. All right. I think I pretty much nailed that. Nailed it. Mine. Let's go ahead and see if there's anything in the chat, any questions. If not, then we're good to go, like always. Okay, we are good to go. So, hope you guys really enjoyed this first episode of It's Ranking Time. And a lot more exciting episodes to come. So, with that said, keep having fun out there, with or without a partner. Make sure if you're without a partner that you find one soon. Highly recommend my book and my movie 1-hour video course to help you get there sooner and to not have a failed relationship. To know everything that it takes in order for you both to become perfect soulmates. All right, that's all I got for you guys for today. Enjoy the rest of your day and more to come. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.